Well, Sudowrite also launches a game-changing update for fiction writers using enhanced AI models and a chapter continuity. Um, it announced a series of major platform updates. Muse 1.5, a proprietary AI model that they use, which has been optimized for fiction writing. Chapter continuity, which allows us the AI to read entire manuscripts, and the integration of Anthropic's latest Claude 4 Sonnet and Claude 4 Opus models. And
So let me jump in real quick here. Claude 4 Sonnet is in the early tests that I have observed of people who are testing it against GPT-5 as good as GPT-5. So right now it's like one's better at some things and the other's better at other things. So if you're signing up for Sudowrite today, it's not like you're using some like B tier AI. You're still using a cutting edge AI. I don't think it integrates with OpenAI, but historically, Claude was so much better at writing, at prose and poetry, that there was no real need to connect to OpenAI if you're connecting to Claude. I will say this is a tool very much to help you write your book using AI, which is not the approach that we use with a toolbox.
right.
The toolbox is about creating tools to primarily help you market your book, but also kind of nibbling around the edges in terms of making your book better. But if you're wanting to play around with AI assisted writing or AI assisted rewriting, there's some cool tools inside of Sudowrite. The one that I like the best is you can highlight a scene and it will rework that scene using in 5 different versions using all 5 senses, which for somebody like me would actually be really helpful, because I don't know if I've ever mentioned this. I don't have a sense of smell. I have like a 5% sense of smell. So like I often can't even tell when one of my kids it needs a diaper change. And which you would think would be a feature, but it is a bug because diaper rash is bad.
Yeah.
And so if I
what
wanted
kind
to
of
write,
father are you?
if I wanted to write a story that featured the sense of smell as a part of the story, I would absolutely have to use Sudowrite, because never when I like describe, the detective coming in the room with the dead body and like this is what the dead body smelled like, because I can just barely smell a dead body or like rotting meat. I can't, like, that's a strong enough smell. This is actually not a good example. So I can kind of smell that. Like if trash gets bad enough, I can smell it a little bit. But I think we all have kind of weaknesses. Like some people are more visual and some people are more auditory. And so these kinds of tools can really help punch up your writing. I think you can overuse a tool like Sudowrite for sure, but I think that it's also a mistake to just write it off and be like, no, that's evil. That's not real writing. It's like, no, this is worth playing with. I have an interview with the CEO of Sudowrite years ago, but I will say AI has come a long way in the last 2 years. So what was cool then is now kind of mind breaking.
Yeah. I've used Sudowrite several times over time. Like I've used it since it kind of came out. And I don't use it heavily. I don't use it a lot. But one thing that I struggle with, I tell people my spirit animal is a T-Rex because I struggle with static things. I'm very movement-based and very kinetic-based. My action scenes are very good, but my descriptions of things that don't move, not that great. And Sudowrite has been a help for me for things that don't move. I would be like, hey, how would you describe a white city in the mountains with a river below it like this? And it will give me what it looks like or some metaphors, and it gives those 5 senses and stuff. And I will take all of that and I will AI Thomas hallucinate smells.
For those of you watching the replay, you're really missing out because this live chat is on fire today.
Oh, that was good.
Yeah.
Anyway, I like using it for that, and I'll rewrite it. I'm not taking what it gives me because I find Sudowrite to be purple. It's really poetic. It's really overwrought in a lot of the prose that it churns out. I'm not literary. I don't write literary. Like I said, I tend to write more action-based, kinetic kind of stuff.
Can you tune its style? Because for science, I wrote
not that I've seen.
Okay, because you can do this in GPT. So ChatGPT has this kind of editor window that you can get it to generate on the right-hand side. And you can get it to generate a chapter or chapter outline, and then you can work in this editor and then save it, and it will kind of train it on its style. So for fun, I wrote a whole nonfiction book in a day. And generated the outline, and then I was like, okay, now generate chapter 1, and then I rewrote chapter 1 extensively. And then when it generated chapter 2 from the outline, stylistically it matched what I changed chapter 1 to. And so I was able to very quickly build out a book. I haven't done anything with
Okay.
this book.
I've not used Sudowrite that heavily. I don't use it to write parts of my book. I'm really looking at just scenes or objects.
Okay, Cami says you can tune the style in Sudowrite.
Oh, okay. All right.
And Cami would know.
It doesn't have enough data on me because I don't use it that heavily.
Right.
But no, there were certain parts of Shades, for instance, Shades 2, that I would use Sudowrite for because I'm like, I don't know what this looks like. I don't have any idea what this should look like. What am I going to do here? And then Sudowrite will spit, of course, several versions of something out at me. And I'll take pieces of each one. Oh, that was cool. That was cool. That was cool. And then I'll create my own amalgamation out of it using that. And usually it'll actually spark new rabbit trails to go down and see what else might be cool in my brain. So it's really best treated as an assistant and not as something that's doing all the work for you and you're just collating it.
There's another way to use a tool like Sudowrite, which is you have it generate the next plot point, and then you can do anything but that, which forces you to not take the expected path with your story.
Right, which is really good, especially if you're trying to avoid tropic writing.